Hello everyone and welcome to Murders at Karlov Manor draft, and the rare in this pack, and there's only one rare, is not good. It just is pretty bad passive ability. You know, the first one, it's very hard to solve, and the final thing can give you like one big thing or two or three small to medium things depending on how much mana you have available, but it's definitely more of a constructed card, not a limited card. So the option is going to be one of the uncommons. They are all quite good actually. They are three of the four of them are of course multiple colors. There are some splashable ones. The other ones, except for the evidence examiner, are splashable. You could take this, but it is. Okay, you know what? I'm just taking the Lightning Helix. It is such a nice, efficient thing. I know it's possible that white red isn't open, but it is a splashable card if I'm white or red. This is not good because, well, this is symmetrical effect. You would try to have to draft so that you don't get hosed by the ability too much. But it's just that even though it has flash and flying, a 2-mana 1/2 isn't that great with those abilities. If it had like lifelink, it would be different, but it doesn't. So I'm not taking that. Out of the blue cards, I could take the Fair Flight. Now that I took a Lightning Helix, I could just take the Dog Walker. And am I gonna have like another false white-red kind of a draft? Now the Flourishing Bloomkin I think is a very good card. I would take that if I didn't first pick the Lightning Helix. I'm taking the Dog Walker and see where it goes. And okay, it seems semi-okay. There's still a couple of options for me. I wouldn't. This is of course bad. Only destroys artifacts. Yeah, it's not good in this limited format. But there's a concealed weapon. There's an auspicious arrival, and well, I wouldn't like the orangutan. I think it's a sideboard card. But both of these are totally fine, and I like the creature slightly more. Well, he's kind of a creature, but you know, you can play it as a creature. And I like it, yeah. Let's take that. And do I still get to... I get to stay these colors, that's nice actually. Another evidence examiner. Well, I wasn't gonna first pick these out of the pack. I would have taken the more splashable 2-color options had I taken something. Well, at least I took. I forgot that I took one of them, the Lightning Helix. Anyway, the Forum Familiar can do some nice tricks sometimes. But this Night Watch is just a clear, you know, 2 for 1. I'm liking that card a lot, so let's take it. And Inside Source. Wow, that's a pretty late one for such a good card. Bystander is a decent 2-drop, and this color combination, in this color combination, you do want to have a lot of blue 2-drops, even though even the less good ones, such as the Bystander, but Inside Source is too much power to pass right now. Okay, now we're getting to the spot where the white and red, at least the white is pretty dried up. There are a couple of red cards in here. So Felonious Rage is not bad. It's totally fine, but I think I'll take the Escape Tunnel. It gives me better mana and allows maybe some splash options if I have to, you know, abandon this particular color combination. So let's take it for now. And here a couple of 5s or the Hustle Bustle. Well, this has the option to be a 3-mana thing. This always requires 5, so I think that is the tiebreaker. I can cast this even without access to 5 lands, so I'm going to take that card. Okay. Still multiple options. You could take either of these disguise creatures. I would prefer the Granite Witness, or you could take the Chases On. The problem, of course, is that none of these things, you know, are 2-drops, but neither of so this isn't an either. So I'm taking the Witness, but I'm gonna be in trouble if I can't find more cheap plays. I have base. This is a 3-drop. I mean, you can play that 2 mana, but it won't affect the board in that case. So I have only 2 things that can affect the board on turn 2. So hopefully the rest of the packs will be better, or the remaining of the pack one. I will be playing, picking those artifact creatures that cost 2, for example. Don't know about the Phantom. I have a lot of expensive stuff already. I'll take 20 gems. I think the Phantom is just redundant at this point. Alright, well there's a 2-drop I will have to play if I don't get other ones. Thinking cap with only 1 detective and 1 thing that creates a detective token. It's not the greatest, but it's not like I need the other ones, so... I'm never playing the Mask Maker though. Despite me having some face down things, I just don't think that is ever worth playing. This is a little too slow land for this deck. Alright, I get 2 drops and, you know, multiple ones. And I'm not talking about this. I mean, it's a 2-drop, but of course the pick here is the Pyrotechnic Performer. Now you, of course, like to disguise this thing to deal the 3, but if it's turn 2 and this is the only 2 mana play I have, that of course will be a fine one as a 2 mana 3/2. Dog Walker would be nice, of course, too. The Haunch is decent, but yeah, let's do this. And. Okay, well, this is the kind of common 2-drop I want. This is playable, but this is actually actively a card I want to have. So, easy one to pick it in here. Pack 2 started extremely well now. And it continues with another Market Watch Phantom. Now this is a 2 mana card, but this is just the actual 2-drop common you want when you play white. And look at this. 2 great options. Now I will be taking the Lamplight Phoenix, but the Case of the Burning Masks is really good too. This can be a 2-for-1. It's somewhat easy to solve, especially on the turn you cast this. This will be one of the 3 sources, an attack with 2 other, and that's it. But Lamplight Phoenix also 3 mana 3/3 flyer, and then later in the game when you have the evidence in your graveyard, you can keep, you can bring this pack back like once or maybe twice. It's really good. And yeah, I'm still taking a 2-drop over the Sanctuary. I mean, another 2-drop over the Sanctuary Wall. Nothing wrong with the bystander. It's you know, acceptable. I get a Dog Walker here. This is the kind of deck where I would play an on the job, but not gonna take a Dog Walker. I'm not going to take it over a Dog Walker. Alright, so here, Suspicious Detonation of the Braggart. How many ways? By the way, it's time to cut the Thrall. It's actually, I have already a few cards that, you know, it will hose. So, do I have many ways to get clues? Not really. I think I still take this removal spell over the 5 mana creature. Okay, I will be playing the Seasoned Consultant. This is nice, but I think I prefer to have these creatures still. Okay, I got another of these, but now I think it is time to take a on the job. This is not a card I'm going to even be playing, but this is something I could want to play. Because I got the 2 drops I wanted out of pack 2. This was a really good pack. Alright, let's take the Bystander. I'm not sure if I'm going to play all of them, but then again the Dog Walker is something you usually want to disguise, so I'd rather have something else to do on turn 2. This is also something I want to disguise, but it's like maybe a little bit, well, it depends on, I don't know, sometimes the damage will be better than the 2/1 but anyway, I don't have to worry about that now. This is a flyer, but it's 5 mana. With this deck I don't have access to black, so I like this more than this Lifelinker, so I'm gonna put that to the sideboard for now. How many detectives? That is now, well, it's still a fairly low amount, so I don't think the Thinking Cap will be played. Karlov Watchdog, Bystander on the job. Permanents your opponent's control can't be turned face up during my turn. Well, that's like a minor thing, but whenever I attack with 3 or more creatures, and this doesn't even have to be among them, any 3 creatures that attack, including I can play this pre-combat and then attack with 3+ creatures to get the +1/+1. That is really sweet, and I'm gonna take this. And okay, Reckless Detective is a nice card. There's also an Auspicious Arrival. This is nice aggressive card though. But I like this one quite a lot too. I have 14 creatures. I will pick up more creatures. This is one of the better tricks for this archetype. I'm actually having so many 2s that I'm going to choose the Arrival now. Alright, well, can I pick both rares in here? This is insane. Ooh, the 3-drop or the 2-drop. Now the 3-drop is a little bit stronger, being evasive creatures and all. This is a decent 2-drop and decent thing to disguise later in the game and refill your hand, but I think I'll just take the Phoenix here now. It's pretty sweet. Okay, there are cards in here, but I'm taking the Parlor. This actually also makes my mana better. I can have a couple of Endless tapped lands. I don't have any 1-drops here, so this is an easy pick over the Dronesmith and whatever else stuff this pack has. My mana is now extremely good. And here, I won't be playing anything here. I'm not playing the Thoroughfare, and I have one of them in the sideboard already. So it's just going to be 20 gems. I'm not going to splash for the black removal here. Rare it is. And here there's a wrench. There's a on the job number 2, a card I'm not going to be splashing. Granite Witness. The French is +1/+1 can matter here, but I do like the flyer here. How many 4s I have? Okay, I'm taking the flyer, but I think the French is okay. Now I get another 4-drop here. Is it time to take a Due Diligence? I have 16 creatures, most of which I'm gonna play. I'll try the Due Diligence. I have a bunch of these expensive things maybe now, so I don't need another Nightwatch. The Due Diligence is a really good card to help you push through, especially when the opponent is tapped out and they can't immediately punish you for playing that card. Now, I don't know if I have enough artifacts for this thing, so I'll take the thing that can give me more counters. And Branch of Ovidugazi. It seems irrelevant here. I don't want to play a colorless producing land. I'll take the Bystander, but I probably won't be playing all of them. Detonation number 2. That's more like a sideboard card if I really need this. I don't want to play multiples of them. I'll take the Familiar. It's actually a decent one against a deck that has a bunch of removal. You can save your own creature from removal. And here I will play the Offender at Large. Or I will pick it at least. Okay, that is 26 cards. I won't be playing 2 of these detonations in any case in the main deck, so I won't be putting that. The second copy won't be put in the deck. And the Thinking Cap probably, yeah, not good enough, given the low amount of detectives I actually have in this deck. Alright, so now I'm just gonna cut from these options. Do I want to play this in the main deck? So that depends on how many good triggers can I get from it, and I don't think I can get that many good triggers, because you don't really play this as a 1-mana creature unless you are desperate. So this is just a 3-mana 2/2, and then with the disguise you don't get any. It will still be a 2/2 because it will pick up the counter, but you can just do some shenanigans like save your creature from removal. And against an unknown opponent, I'm not going to consider this is such a great card, because I mean it would be if I had more ETBs to reuse, but I don't think I have that many of them, so I'm just gonna cut that. Alright, Watchdog, my Nightwatch on the job. These will always be 3-mana cards. The Nightwatch I'd prefer to play at 4 because it's more mana efficient that way. How many of these 5s? I think with the double Offender I will not play the Vigilant. I have, of course, many creatures that have 2 or less power, so this can be nice. Well, I'm also thinking about the detonation. Maybe I can play 1 detonation here. Maybe I can play 1, but let's cut something. Let's see the creature curve. I think I have like, what, 20 creatures here right now. 19. So I think 1 of the bystanders will go. So this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 2-drops. But 3 of them are cards I'm also quite happy to, disguise on turn 3. Also the weapon is, I would assume, quite often going to be disguised. So let's put that there. But yeah, I cut 1 of the bystanders. Another question is, am I going to cut the Hasta Vigilante or maybe the second offender at large? Or the suspicious detonation. I think I will play the detonation because I am low on removal. I have a couple of pump spells, the lightning helix, and this tap ability. Yeah, I will play the detonation. I also have a few ways to gain a treasure, not treasure, a clue. And of course this will be only a 2 mana card when you have sacrificed the clue. Basically this will be, you use a total of 4 mana to sack the clue and then play this card. Which is, still cheaper than playing it without the discount at all. It's 5 mana when you didn't sack a clue. But this arrival gives me a clue, the on the job gives me a clue, and I think there is like these things that can give me a clue. I think that's it though. Nothing else will. But I'll play this because of the lack of removal. But I will have now basically 5 cards that, 4 cards that kind of require 5 mana. These only kind of, because they can also be 2/2 ward 2 creatures. But I'm thinking that, I guess if these trade early, they will give nice, evidence for the Lamplight Phoenix. So I'm going to cut the Vigilante, and this is the deck. I think 17 lands is still the number of cards, number of lands I will be playing. Will there be a problem with flooding? I hope not. I do have 2 lands that, kind of fix my mana. The fetch and the dual land. So I could play 16 and my colors will be still good. So is that actually what I'm doing? How reliant I am on having 5 mana. Maybe I can leave with 16. I have a double. Yeah, okay. It's a good point that I have a double red and a couple of double whites in here. So that also kind of puts and this is a double white. That strains my mana a little bit. So let's see if I just would I play even this card to make my mana even better? I'm not sure. Why do I have only 5 detectives? I actually wouldn't mind having the thinking cap, but it's really expensive at 3 equip cost. So the 5 detectives I see in here is not the whole truth, because also the inside source will be a detective. That's 6. This will die into a detective, assuming, unless I disguise it and it dies while disguised. But it would be kind of 7 detectives, I believe. Is that good enough for the thinking cap? The thinking cap is actually quite nice with the bystanders. It is expensive to equip, but when you make this into a 3/3, you will get the clue when it dies in regular combat, because the opponent will need to deal 3 damage to it or more. Okay, let's try the cap here. I will sideboard it out if it starts to annoy me. And this is the deck. I will play 16. I think with these 2 lands, I can still play, a fairly decent amount of Come on, no islands. So here I have basically 9 mana base. That will support my 2 double casters, I think, well enough. Yep. I might have plays where this is. I might have games where this is in my hand on turn 3, but I have like plains, mountains, and I can't cast it. But I think I have a lot of options for turn 3. So many disguise creatures that it'll be fine, hopefully. That is the main deck. And the mana works, even if I draw the Phoenix. 2-drop. And I guess the Nightwatch is my 3-drop if I don't find another. Well, I might even use the Arrival, we'll see. But on the play, having the 2-drop, that's nice. So they have the Clue Land. I don't have artifact removal. If I did it would be very, very backbreaking to destroy this. Imagine having the Orangutan. What's the 3-drop that can destroy an artifact? The opponent might just concede if I had that for my turn 3. Bubble Smuggler, alright. So, okay, Offender will be disguised now. I don't mind the trade here, it doesn't really matter. I will disguise the Offender because on the next turn I can play the Nightwatch. And then on turn 5 I might have the option to do the surprise reveal of this thing and benefit better from the +2/+0. You get the +2/+0 even if you just play this and it ETBs, but of course the opponent will know about it because this doesn't have flash or anything. Okay, well this is interesting. I could actually attack into that and I would save my guy with the Auspicious Arrival, and now that I have the Phantom to cast after that, it's a good idea. They might even choose to not block. In which case I can do this. So this can't be blocked if they get to sacrifice an artifact. I don't think they're gonna sacrifice their Clue Land. And I will definitely be blocking this if I can. They will get to loot when they attack. Sure. Accusation. Well, that's a shame. I don't think I have a way to untap it. Well, this is not so great either. I'm not going to turn that thing face up right now, even though that would allow me to deal 7 damage here. But I'd rather do this, and I still have the option to use the Auspicious Arrival here, if I want to. They are thinking about sacking the land, are they? I would be very surprised if that was the right play to make. They must have something that affects the board and use mana for that instead. So now they get the loot and I get to choose if I want to block or not. I can't really play the Arrival into an open mana, but I will try this anyway. I will let the trade happen now. I don't want to give them too many loots here. If they kill now this guy, it's gonna be a little annoying, but my deck has about 18 or so creatures. There's so many creatures that it wouldn't be a big problem. Okay, that yeah, they can sack that to draw a card now. That's annoyingly large. This only deals 4, of course. So they will block, and I have to just trade with it. I can't use my Arrival right now. I would be thrilled if they don't block. Maybe if they have some clue generating. Yeah, the fact they had the accusation on the Nightwatch, that was That was very unfortunate. Because now they have all these cards still left, and they're at 16. Huh. I liked my board a little bit more early, a few turns ago. The fact they had the criminologist, I really assumed this can get at least once in. So now, of course, if I did play this on the turn when 7 damage was guaranteed, it starts to feel like I should have done that. Just to pressure them, have my 5-4 and play the 2-2 on a later turn. I just wanted to add to the board. I did not expect to the game to actually go to this situation. They have now 2-2 flying vigilance guy. And of course the pump spells are very nasty when they are not tapped out. So I'm just gonna attack with the watchdog and maybe take the trade if they block. And then if they have some tricks of their own, then I can of course use my arrival in that case. Okay, they seem to be... Yeah, they're actually now, they're racing now. So... I can play the bystander, but... The land, you know what, I really hoped to draw another creature so that I can play this, and you know, I most likely can play all creatures I have now, either disguise them or just play them face up. But the land was bad. Now I can kill the scholar. I think it's time to do it. It feels like I'm not wanting to take 4 in the air here. But yeah, with the cards they have in hand, I think they have more gas than I. Which means that... And yeah, they have like a 3-6 all of a sudden here. I have to get rid of that thing with the arrival and the lightning helix. I mean, I can just use the lightning helix, but I'd rather save my watchdog, so let's do that. Man, they have a 3-6. That's such a... let's target the correct creature. Such an annoying card to have there. So now I'm top decking. I do have one clue, but they are still at 16. Maybe I can find now my phoenixes, because I have the evidence to keep them coming back multiple times. They were at the board. Well, I get my 2-2. I'm actually very happy of that. I got my clue out of that business too. Okay, well. That was an interesting timing for the rat. Did they even attack with their own guy? They have something so strong that they were able to do that. Okay, that's probably gonna get the French thinking cap and the other thing. And it'll still be actually a 5-5 now. The magnifying glass and the thinking cap. Because they can use the... Oh, they actually didn't have the other one. Interesting. Well, I'm going to go for this. I will lose my creature that they're gonna block, but I get a clue token, so there is that at least. So it's not exactly one... It's like a 2 for 2. I still am happy if they choose to not block. I could have still used the on the job. Okay, but now with this it's actually going to be... Yeah, I would have. They would be now at 7, and I had the clue which I would be having mana for cracking, but it doesn't have vigilance, so let's see if they're gonna go for the attack or not. I can tap it once, so that will help in the race situation, unless they do have a counter spell, of course. Well, I will know about the rare now, so I have to take that into consideration. 3 mana to turn a thing face up. Okay, so I can now have a attack here. That does mean I can't play the witness and flip it face up, because I would need another white for that, but this is still gonna be the play I'm gonna make. They can double block the 2-2, but then I will start just trade with the face down card. Okay, now that that happened, I don't know what this thing is. So this would be now my spot to actually deal 4 extra. They would go to 4. And I can still play the Granite Witness. And they have 8. No, that's not correct. They can have a lot of damage because this goes... Yeah, I cannot actually play the on the job right now. What I have to do here is this. And I need to be tapping the Agency Outfitter. This can tap creatures or untap. And sadly, I don't have a... Okay, yeah, the problem is if this has 4 power, I will be losing if they are going to... this is bad. How many things? It can also be the... It can be the 3-3 that when you turn it face up will in fact you know, will drain 3. But I think this is my only chance. I mean, I am not winning this game, so let's try to do this. They can now use the researcher to untap it and attack. And if they do that, that has to imply that they're gonna have a lethal attack. Okay, no, yep, they... Oh, they went to attacks. Oh, did they forget to... Okay, I don't know. They steal my thing. Well, game is over now. Unless I draw something sick. I wasn't gonna win here. They never ran out of gas and they had the answers to everything. I wasn't really able to pressure them. They are untapping that immediately, and my... Yeah, after they stole this thing, it's really not gonna work. No matter what I draw here. That was my one chance. Thinking cap is nowhere near enough. I can play this Crack the Clue and have 1 mana after that, which is not gonna help me at all, so I don't want to show this card to them. Alright, the 2 for 1 there was the nail in the coffin. So they have the Rat effect, there's Familiar. Okay. Do I need to play this Vigilante? Given the interaction they had, I think the Consultant isn't as good. It is one of my detectives. I don't think the Thinking Cap is gonna be that good either. I'm going to play the Vigilante here and maybe another Detonation. I need to be a little bit slower because I can't, you know, play into those rats. So I'll do this and have to be more careful about overextending. I mean, not those rats, but the one rat I saw. But I think otherwise this is fine, so I'll do this. And this is going to mean that I'm gonna go 2, 3, 4, unless I draw another 2-drop. But the Dog Walker will be my 2-drop, if nothing else. Okay. Now this will most likely trade with whatever they play on turn 2, but if they just miss this turn, the 3 damage will be quite nice to have here around. Okay, they did miss. They might have a counter spell, but I'm still of course playing this. Okay, no counter spell either. Now the Wrath is 5 mana, so I can deal a lot of damage before it goes down to that. Okay, now they must have something. When this dies, I will collect evidence for... Okay, well, I will have... If they rat the board, I will have the evidence to collect. But before anything else happens, I will be seeing if this attack is gonna work. That got murdered, sure. So let's just go with the Night Watch. But I'm a little bit, wary about trading with it, because this is nice against the rat. Oh, if they collect evidence for the rat, they can actually exile this thing, but they don't have, I think it's collect evidence 6, I'm pretty sure. Because it says that they can exile a thing from the graveyard and then choose. Okay. At least now I have the rat protection there. It is the moment of truth. I could play this face up, attack for 5, and then I could get ratted. So it's better to play the Phoenix. And they don't have the evidence to collect. I will attack for this amount, of course. Yeah, I think if they rat now, I will still have a 2-2 and a 3-3. And I can give the +2/+0. That would have been a very fine situation for me. Okay, some blockers in there. Alright, alright. Well, that's convenient. Yeah, so I'm thinking about killing the onlooker so that I can just trade with the sprite, but I also kinda like not trading this because I can make this into a 4-2 on the next turn if I so choose. Yeah, I'm just killing this, so if they wanna, block the Phoenix, they do have to just jump. I could attack with everything, and if they eat the 1-1, they take 5. Well, the 1-1 has a useful ability, so... So I won't be doing that. Now the thing, of course, is that they do have to collect evidence for the rat, so they can exile the Phoenix before I can get it back. But I have the Open Rat Large here, which I can use to pump the Night Watch immediately. Okay, no rat. Good. A funny thing about the exiling the Phoenix that the rat actually looks, I think, all the copies of that card from the opponent's graveyard, hand and deck, and they get to exile them all. So I would lose both of my Phoenixes if they have the rat. So what do I learn here? They have the 1-3 flyer, so that makes it so that, for example, the 2-1 is not exciting at all. These innocent bystanders don't feel very exciting either, but unless I play the thing in cap, I actually should maybe change one of the bystanders into the thing in cap. And the Forum Familiar can be used against the Dramatic Accusation, which I saw at least at 1 copy there. So maybe the bystander number 2 is gonna go away as well. It's not very good in this matchup. I will play the Familiar. I can also use this to save one of my creatures from a rat effect, so I guess this is the final deck. Alright, Phoenix with triple plains hand. That's a mulligan. Oh, come on. I do have 2 dual lands in the deck. There's not even a 2-drop I can play. There's not even a not even a disguise creature for turn 3. I mean, this hand is bad. Wow. Really? Mulligan to Oblivion. Is that what we are doing? I'll keep this because I can at least, you know, draw a land to play the Performer and maybe another land to play the Inside Source. At least that part worked. But it's still very, very miserable, of course, being down 2 cards in these matchups where the opponent has the advantage later in the game. So do I want to push some damage? Because this is actually quite cheap to turn face up, but I think I will still play as a 3-2. If I'm lucky, maybe they don't have a counterspell now and maybe I get to deal the 3 damage like once with it. Not so lucky after all. Did I discard 2 or 1 instant sorcery or creature with flying? Deduce. Okay, it's funny that I kept the 1 lander now. After mulligan to 5, I did draw 3 lands back to back, which is allowing me to play this 2-3-4 curve. Now I'm not gonna wait for the offender at large to flip and give a lot of damage with this. I'd rather just get rid of the flyer here and I hope they don't rat my board, because I'm not gonna win this card advantage wise, because I already mulliganed to 5, so now I can actually get a 1-1 if they want. Well, that's a fine one to have. But yeah, if they are able to rat the board now, that's going to be nasty, because they are not running out of cards. They have all those still there. I would have 2 more in my hand had I not mulliganed to 5 here. So this says whenever you collect evidence for whatever reason, they get a 1-1. But they have no evidence in the graveyard. Not right now. Okay, so I can't attack with this into the 3-3 even if I get the pump from the Watchdog. So I guess I just won't do that and I will attack with my Night Watch. If they trade with it now, it makes a better rat for them, but they are not planning to rat based on their decision to not trade. I mean, it's not like this board state is anything that it's gonna be even meaningful for them to rat. Anyhow, let's see what I'm gonna have here. That's not a keep. Let's do the Watchdog, and of course next turn I can trigger its ability. I could have done it this turn, but this would only be a 2-2 and it will get eaten by the monitor. So this produces colored mana if they tap an untapped creature. Oh, come on. I already mulliganed to 5. Do you have to exile my Axel relevant card? Oh man, what a game. And this deck has like a amazing mana curve. I know I did cut 2 drops during the sideboarding, But still, the fact I had to mulligan the 6 card hand, not because the mana was bad, but the mana was partly bad because there was only white in there, but it didn't have any place for turn 2 or turn 3, which is really, you know, uncommon for this deck, which has just 2 and 3 drops basically, and a few other things. So now that I didn't get to have my 5 drop here, which would have been actually pretty sweet of a card, it's pretty miserable now. Okay, well, I'm going to take the 3 from there, but okay, so actually if they would have exactly nothing, the detonation is good here. Because I have the watchdog, but I suspect they have something. At least this thing can't be countered, you know, the 4 damage will be dealt in here. But let's see if they have something for the watchdog before I get to attack. No, they did not, so this is now a good attack. The only thing they can kill with the creatures without the use of other cards is to double block the inside source, but that seems like they would take about 11 damage in that case. So that was nice, but of course, if they now rat the board, they will have 3 cards left in their hand. I will have a 2/2 and a clue token though, so I guess it's not the worst. Maybe I was even supposed to block here, but I don't think the 3 damage is gonna matter. So if I now top deck just non-lands for many draw steps, I'm assuming the board is gonna get wiped now. And if I get to draw non-lands, yeah, it will be still maybe winnable. They have 2 cards left. And this clue, of course. So 3 now. Wait a minute. What happened? Oh, sorry. I'm just such a fool. Obviously, I'm not getting any clues from the rat. It's the white rat, the 4 mana rat that gives clue. I don't know. I really thought that this is gonna give me a clue, but no, it's the white one that does it. All right, this is a huge blocker. I need to get one of my flyers here. All right, this is not good now. You know, the white rat says the players with the most creatures get a clue token. Of course, this has nothing to do with that. It's 1 mana more expensive after all. So this has another, doesn't it? Yep. So if they kill the face down card, the only thing I can do is, you know, return my survey land to fix my land draws a little bit better. But yeah, this is they are in a position to attack here, which is, you know, it's true. They can deal 3. I will only deal 2. And I said I need to draw non-lands, but now I drew 2 lands already, so this is bad. I'm almost tempted to actually surveil, but I still think I might get some use out of that. But yeah. Mulligan to 5. Exile the last card from my hand, so with the agent and them having the board ripe. That's what it took to beat me in this game. Actually, that's pretty impressive that I'm even having such a kind of a normal looking game, but of course it's all is gonna be very soon over because they have these cards in their hand which are not just lands. But let's see if I can get like a Phoenix. This will be a 5/5 though. I can't even block it with the Phoenix. Well, I can block, but it won't trade. Thinking cap here. Ooh. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. This can even tap a creature. I guess they can't tap the disguise creature because they don't have 2 mana. But the problem here is that yeah, they have enough damage. If I attack with anything, actually I'm dead already. They can tap this on my turn, and they can tap this on their turn, and then they can attack for 7. Let's stop the suffering and go to the next game, or next match rather. Okay, keepable hands, thank you. This is not a difficult feat in this deck. Alright, my hand is this time a very excellent one. I can play the Phantom on 2, have these options on turn 3, and I would be playing the Dogwalker because I'd rather play this so that I already have the 1 red mana up, so I can at least deal the 3 damage with it. But that would of course require the 4th mana. But yes, I still have the Arrival if they want to make some blocks. Although this won't be easy to block because this will be a 2-2 triggering this. This will be a 2-2 triggering this. And the opponent mulligans. They are at 6 right now. And they kept 6, alright. Well, that's 3 triggers to make this guy flying. It's gonna deal about 6 damage unless they have a way to interact here. I will start with the Dogwalker because I will want to play this face down no matter what. No counterspell. And of course these tokens trigger this also. So this is basically permanent flyer right now. And with the Auspicious Arrival, I'm going to attack into that thing and save my guy if they block. Well, now that they block that guy, I'm not gonna save it. I'm getting the 1/1s here. Which is really nice because I have the on the job here. I do need just the white mana for it. Night Watch. So, well, the Watchdog is incredible too. Too bad I'm having a little bit difficulties here right now. Let's do this. Because I'm playing against blue-white, so it's unlikely that they can straight up kill this thing. So if they use a... Well, I guess there's the 3 mana enchantment that exiles it, but they would have to have a land for that to pay for the ward. Okay, well there is a land. Yeah, well I want to fly with that thing, so let's fly with that thing. And then I'm getting my planes with the escape tunnel, and of course this board is good with the Watchdog and with the on the job. Okay, there's magnifying glass, Strider. Okay, they are tapped out, so I have a pretty massive attack coming up now. And of course I'd rather have +2/+1. Isn't that the case? And I can trigger this for actually 5 damage. Yeah, because it will get the... Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So let's attack and see how they block. This might just be a lethal with the 5 damage I can deal with the Performer. Because if you know the +2/+1 will of course persist when I turn it face up. I will first resolve this and then turn it face up. It will be a 5/3. And that they're at 7. And then they can block. I mean, they will always take here. Okay, the only way they are not losing is that they block everything but the 1/1s. And in that case they go to 1. Okay, so now this is game over. Do I need to... This actually... No, it's not 12, so I'm gonna do this. Now it's gonna be enough. -1 for them. And that was... It was the... Shady Informant. Or Exit Specialist, actually. Wait a minute. Did they mill one at some point? Okay, I don't know anymore. But yeah, blue-white it is. And yeah, this is actually a bit surprising given that they are plains and islands and this is black and red. Even the disguise revealing it requires black or red. So maybe they play 3 colors or they just play these to have a 3 mana 2/2. They have the Strider though, that of course helps a little bit, but it can only be used once per turn, so it actually can't be helped to cast or reveal it if they don't have any swamps or mountains. Right, so did I learn anything that makes me want to change my deck? I think the main deck configuration is quite good. I don't like the bystanders though against the 1/3s. I saw only one, but it might be enough to cut one of the bystanders and play something else instead. Like, do I need to remove something? I'm not sure I want to use this expensive removal here. Does this make any sense ever? I mean, it is a card I haven't played, but I think this isn't just a very good card. What are you supposed to do with this thing? I can save my disguise creatures. I don't know. I'm going to cut one of the bystanders and I'll just play the Hasta Vigilante. That's fine. Okay, this is not quite as good of a hand, unless I draw a 2-drop here, but it's still a totally reasonable hand. And, well, I don't think I want to play either of these on turn 2, but I will be playing a 2-drop here, rather than not doing anything. And I'm not gonna count on their turn 3 being something I can Lightning Helix, because there's a very good chance for a disguise creature such as this one. So, they are eager to trade with the Performer, because it will deal a bunch of damage to them. But I also think it's fine to trade here, because I'm not going to immediately turning face up anything, because I'm playing the Witness now. Next turn I'm gonna play this face up, most likely. And yeah. I was able to trade my 2 mana thing with their 3 mana thing. That by itself is somewhat valuable. So this Vigilante can actually put a counter on this Witness before I turn it face up. No place. Sir Conrad, that is annoying as heck, but I am willing to trade the Night Watch, the first half of the Night Watch, and the Lightning Helix with it. So if they block, I will of course play the Lightning Helix and then actually nothing else. But that's what it is. If they take the damage, I'll play the Vigilante, give a counter to the face down card. And actually, I still can do this on their turn. But if I turn this face up before giving the counter from the Vigilante, I can't give it any more counters because it has 3 power at that point. That said, if this gets traded now, I will have my 2/2 token for which I can give it a counter on the next turn with the ETB ability. And they want to save their thing, and that's actually what I wanted to happen. So now I can do this and give the counter there, and this is a pretty good spot to be in. I can even ignore the face down card. I can just play the Watchdog and attack with everything with Lightning Helix up. And that is valuable. Oh, no, sorry. I did tap the mana correctly, because I had the choice between the Helix and the ability there. That said, I actually could have even tapped it. Oh well. Let's see if I can attack. No. It got murdered. Well, now it's a shame that I still doing this, and I'm gonna use the lightning helix here. The 5-4 is a big blocker here. They can use a tap ability. I mean, they're not a tap, but the milling ability. They lost a flyer and I got some pings, it doesn't matter. The concealed weapon is good, but I guess them not having the tracker is good as well. Soul Enervation, so that is gonna kill the watchdog, so no pumps for me apparently. But this is a good one. And now I can, if I do this, I can do everything here. Yes. And by everything I mean I can flip both of these guys face up on their turn, so I can tap their thing and I can get 2 1-1s, and unless they have a rat also, I'm in a very good shape. That's not a rat. And that is a good card. So they are gonna be able to do... I think they lose, but... yeah, this is a really good one. But of course, this doesn't have ward. Yes, it doesn't. So just going to turn this thing face up to tap this guy. And I think this is enough for a lethal after I do this. 7 plus, I think this is 11. Well, it's more than that now. But yeah, 11 here already. Okay, if this was an amount, planes, this would be a nice hand. Now the risk is that I don't draw a third land. If I knew I'm gonna draw my third land for turn 3, I would keep it just to have the Phoenix, and then I could disguise this. But if I'm going to miss it, any white 2-drop will be nothing. I have a red 2-drop. I have, I think, 9 lands. Yeah, I have 7 planes and 2, lands that can get me white. 2 of the duals, kind of. I have 2 red 2-drops at least. And of course I have, 7 mountains. I'm happy to. I think this is good enough with the Phoenix and the, how these cards are good. So basically, I need at least a land in 2 draw steps. And if I draw like a plains immediately, that would be insane. But I just need a land in 2 draw steps, or at least a red 2-drop, not a white 2-drop. I have at least 2 of those, the 2 ones that create your clue token if it gets dealt a bunch of damage. There is this 2, which I forgot. But now I mean, yeah, I guess as long as I draw either a land or a red 2-drop, I'm fine. But if I have to totally miss out on making a play, it's annoying. I mean, the 2 lands of course I have are 2 of my lands are entering tapped, but I think that's okay. Alright, well that's all I needed there. I am going to offer the trade on the life linker. I'm pretty sure they are not going to block here, but if they are, I'm happy. Now I can play the Phoenix. Now if they do kill the Phoenix, there's no way to bring it back. Now I could play the Lightning Helix to kind of make sure I have the 4 evidence. Well, it doesn't make it sure yet. I would need to also lose this guy. So how do I do it? That's actually a good question. I don't want to make them start getting 2 life. I mean, I could play the Dog Walker here. Maybe I can... I mean, this is gonna be 2 to untap. If I had a 4th land on the next turn. Now I'm just doing this. If they remove it, they remove it. That happens. And I live with that. Because I really don't want to play the Lightning Helix on this turn because it's mana inefficient. Although playing this is efficient only if I have another planes to follow up with one of my 2 drops. So maybe I should have gone for it and try to, save the Phoenix until after until after I have evidence 4 in the graveyard. So now that the attack with this configuration, +2/+2 won't help the Sanguine Savior. Now there can be the +2/+1, which returns it back suspected. I guess I'm fine with that. And the +1/+2, what? Okay, I'm doing this. Let's see what they have. They have, of course, something and fuss. I mean, that's what? That's amazing. I got 2 cards out of that. Yeah, that was fantastic for me. Alright, so now I can attack for 3 at least. And I think I'm so strained on white mana that I should just play anything that requires white mana here. So let's do this first, because the Consultant won't be a 3/3 attacker. Yeah, they did get the +1/+1 counter on this, but that was a great trade for me. Okay, I'm gonna extract the Confession. They made it so that I had to exile this one, which is okay. Here I will be playing, of course, the... Wait a minute. Yes, I am. I will have 3 attackers, because I will do this and this. The other option, of course, would have been to just play the Dogwalker, and then I would have had mana to reveal it. But I'd rather do it like this. Okay, that thing is going to be probably Lightning Helixed, because it will block the Phantom. Oh well, I mean, on the job does make it so that... Well, on the other hand, I have the Inside Source now. Oh, if I flip this thing, this will fly. Then I don't mind if this Go-Hound is going to block the 3/1. Yes. I'm gonna Lightning Helix this guy. It's a small guy, but it has lifelink, and I'm gonna do this. And I'm going to attack for a bunch, and I still have the on the job with these dog tokens. And that's great. So they will probably block the Dogwalker now, go to 10, and they have no board. And I have 4 creatures with the on the job. So that is, of course, and this will be a 3/3, so this is like a 15 damage I'm dealing here. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. And I can actually use this to make myself an unblockable. That's not a thing I have done a lot in this format. But is this a guaranteed victory? It is. I think it is. Yeah, well, they will take 5 from the unblockable guy, and then they can block. It's not exactly, but it's so that they will lose. No, this is actually, you know, they go to 2, but I don't lose any creature. So again, the opponent has to have a Wrath, and they have to have an untapped land to go with it. Yep, that is. Okay, they can play creatures with power 2 or less with that thing, sure. They were stuck at, 3 mana, 3 lands. I did notice that. So multiple Sanguine Saviors. There's no ping effect, or if there is in this format, I don't have access to them. I could have the Flash guy blocking one. I think in this matchup the Bystander is okay. Well, it's still bad against the Go-Hound and the Inside Source actually. Alright, bystander, go away. I think I will play the Thrall. Can I make them miss out on some triggers? I can make them miss out on the Go Hound, on the inside source. I'll need to keep that in mind. I'll try the Thrall and then how about the detonation? Is there anything I want to... I mean, of course they were stuck at 3, so I didn't see anything large from their deck, but I could see maybe not playing this clumsy removal spell and instead just having... I'll have my own savior. And I think that's it for the sideboarding. Alright, again a very good hand here. And I'll just get the mountain with the tunnel. I'm not going to wait to use the unblockability. Maybe if I drew a mountain there, maybe then I would have saved it for a while. But I didn't, so that's that. They have their Go Hound. Do they have a 2-drop to follow up? Not yet. Confession extracted. They are stuck at 2 now. And I will be... Do I rather flip the... I don't know if I'm going to flip anything on the next turn. So I'm just doing this. And the next turn I think I'll just play the Savior on... disguised of course, because I don't have the black, and then the thinking cap. Yeah, but they're stuck at 2. They were stuck at 3 and now stuck at 2, so it's of course really horrible for them. This has the... When this is turned face up, another target creature I control against lifelink. But I think the damage raise here is just... I mean, I just do this and there's not much for them here. The game is basically over because they are stuck at 2 for so long. This is their 5th draw step. And do they still have an Oland? Yeah. Well, we've all been there, especially in best of 3 when you have to keep a little bit riskier hands thanks to no starting hand algorithm. Okay, so I did another red-white deck, but you can't really blame me for first picking the Lightning Helix and then taking the Dog Walker after that, because they go to a very, very good archetype. And I got rewarded with double Lamplight Phoenix. And with enough 2-drops to make the deck actually work. So I don't plan to force the red-white archetype, or it's not that red-white is exactly the best thing. I don't even know about the 17 lands data anything else than that white is the best color in terms of win percentage. And white has a lot of good stuff, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, I'm not going to force this, but when I get the good cards for this color combination, of course I will be happily drafting that, because it is a very powerful thing to do, and there will be a lot of good white cards in the draft. So even if another player or 2 other players actually are drafting it, I think it can still support a 3rd player. But yeah, the first match was of course something quite strong from the opponent, and it was a good matchup for them. But I, of course, I didn't get as good starts in that match than I had in the other 2 matches. But 2-1, always an acceptable result. So let's take the prize here, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.